Good afternoon. Welcome back, Craig and Debbie, also known as Zed and Sapphire. And also we have Tanny from Healing Arts. So we will be talking about self-love and also appreciation. So let's start. In terms of self-love and know your worth, I mean, I have had a lot of struggle knowing my worth in the past, and it's all about having practice to kind of build it and grow. So, I mean, how do you define knowing your worth?
I think I grew up with that side of things through the loss of both parents, to be honest, and to feel like you've got no love left in you, to go through the mental health phase. Back then you wouldn't know it was mental health because I was much younger, in my early 20s. But then you start to realise that when somebody comes into your life, such as my lovely Sapphire, she grew to love me and I grew to love her, and I realised there is love there. And I had self-worth as well, which I had to give back. And when you share that self-worth and the love that you share, it makes people around you happy and builds this big aura of happiness and joyous. That's what I feel, and that's my sort of situation that I was in.
And how would you define it? Like,
well, when I was younger, I went through a lot of troubled times, at school. I was bullied quite a lot, and obviously I felt a bit worthless, so I didn't know what
because
direction.
other people can really knock your confidence
Yes, that's how I felt.
down.
But,
Yes.
I stuck in at school with my exams and things, and I came out trumps in the end with that. So the bullies didn't get the better of me there. So yes, as I grew up, I had to go through the grief of losing family members very close, my mother and my brother. And the thing is that I felt like empty and numb when that happens. You've lost people in your life. But as you say, you grow up, and it's the love from others that you start to feel like you are worth something,
Yeah.
in the end. And it's the love and the hugs that made me go on,
But I also feel like you shouldn't really rely on other people to know your worth. You
I
should
think-
feel it inside.
I
Does
think,
that make sense?
I think you're exactly right, because I think that what she was trying to say is, once you feel the love from the other person,
Yes.
your love and your self-belief starts to flourish, and you
Yes.
realise it's there.
Yes.
And you have that.
Yes.
And you have that, and you have to let that shine.
Yes.
As that's your self-worth. Don't let anybody knock it down.
Exactly.
Because I built a lot of barriers, from my young age, and my barriers went down as I grew up and I got older and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's when I could let myself go and hug people and that, because in my household we didn't really hug, and nobody ever says they loved me, So I went through it like that. I know my mum and dad loved me, but I never got hugs and them saying that to me.
So if you lack love, you kind of lack that worth.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
That self-love.
Yeah.
I
that
didn't know
feeling.
that people
Yeah.
actually say that in families.
I know what
I
you
love
mean.
you and things like that, because I was never accustomed to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how would you define it? And also appreciation. How does that come into it?
Yes.
Do you
I'll
see?
carry on this conversation.
Yes.
I hear you both from the background. Self-worth and self-loving is a bit struggled
Yes.
at early age because of loss of loved ones being around. As we are all experienced with childhood, in our childhood, we experience this like mirroring things or observing our role models. If they are no longer there, we struggle with kind of feeling lost. And while we grew up, we share that self-love or reflecting to our partners or other people, might be our friends, close friends, or other relatives, other people. So that's kind of connecting and feeling belong to something like a family
Yes.
or community. So then we discover ourselves, our self-worth, and start, our own journey, and picking up from our past and present, combining with those experiences. So that's self-worth.
But I know what you mean by getting that love from others that will help you kind of appreciate yourself. But how would you kind of grow that self-love within yourself?
Okay.
What are your ways of doing that?
Yes. So it takes these experiences from past. I use as tools or experiences to make connection and to self-worth and create my own treasures. Loving myself first and joining this love with others, with chosen ones, of course. Now, at this stage, we become more cautious.
Because they say, how can anyone love you if you don't love yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And then with appreciation, I built the pillars of appreciation. Who I share my love with, and how appreciate those people in my life. So these are very concrete stages I go through, and then it makes me happier, more appreciated, and I'm appreciating more the other people's.
and it helps having positive people around you,
Yes.
people to lift you up. Because if you're around negative, dark people, it will bring you down.
Yes, drains your energy.
It does.
Whereas with positivity, with trust, yes, we might have that trust issue, but we have to build up on that. No one person is similar that other examples. So individually, we connect. When we connect, we build that trust, and then appreciation starts both ways.
Yes. And what's your ways?
Of coping, do you mean, or?
Of building to learn how to love yourself.
Yeah.
What are your tips?
Well, my tips are, they're probably a little bit different because I'm an entertainer, but because I love entertaining, and that gets me away from anything that's negative. If somebody wants to be negative, or you get an online troll, I used to say things back to them, and very verbally as well. But now I've took the instructions of up here, and it just tells me to ignore them. You're better than that, and people will love you for who you are,
Yes.
not for what they perceive you to be. And they can knock themselves down, but they can't knock you down.
Exactly.
It's like the old song says, I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to beat me down.
Yes.
It's a thing.
You don't want to let them
No.
win.
No.
And they never will. Not with me, not with her,
No.
and not with you guys as well, because we are collaborative, like the mafia of mental health. And
Exactly.
we're here to
I
stand
like
up
that,
for
the
people.
mafia of mental health.
Yeah, so watch out, folks,
Okay.
because we're coming for
I
you.
find now that as I'm older,
Yeah.
I do think I am worth something now.
That's really good.
That's what I feel, and I
Yeah.
just need to ask him.
And it's never too
for a
late
hug or anything.
No.
to love yourself.
No,
It's a learning process.
Yeah.
It's a process.
Yeah.
It is.
Takes time, takes practice, effort.
It builds up.
Exactly.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and you do get people out there that would knock that. They'll say, oh, if you're on TV or something like that, they'll say, you only love yourself. Yes, I only love myself, but
Yes.
I'm here to share the love with you. It's just that
Exactly.
you're too blind to see it.
Yes.
Yes.
So there you go.
And loving yourself, maybe people can think that you're arrogant, but no.
Yeah,
It's
no,
knowing
no,
your
no,
standards
no,
and
yeah.
knowing what you're worth.
You know your own.
It's not about
yeah.
being arrogant.
No.
You know your
But
own
except
barriers.
for
don't
some
you?
people, they can take that in that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. But they don't know your struggles that you've been through.
Yes.
To get there, to feel.
Exactly.
I mean,
So you can say to yourself and say to everybody, I love myself.
Well, you know something? I do love myself, and nobody will ever take that away from me. Nobody will ever bully me because I am worth something.
Exactly.
Well said.
Very well.
Well said.
Yeah.
So, to wrap up,
Yeah.
is there any other thoughts
Well,
you
in
would
the
like
wo-
to add?
In the
or-
words of Whitney Houston, I will always love you. There we are.
Yes.
That's a good reminder.
That's a
Yeah.
good reminder, yes.
Bless her, yeah. Love your
And when
son.
we say I will always love you, it doesn't mean you, it could be
Yeah.
you,
Look in the mirror.
yourself.
You're there. You're there to be loved.
Yeah.
In a good way, folks.
Yes.
So my tip is keep smiling
Yeah.
all the way through life. because,
Smiling is
that's
a
what it's
positive
about.
energy.
Yes,
Yeah.
positive energy.
Well, that's it. And thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next interview.
And very Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.